Hello. So we have a bit of a problem. We have too many stuff around the house. So my wife and I headed to Ikea and we thought we'd tackle this problem by purchasing the new Ikea IVAR system. It's affordable and built to be modular. Hi, I'm Leo. I have a passion for creating woodworking projects. And in this series, I'm building useful things around our shelf and making it work for our daily life. I have some creative things in the works, and I hope it gives you some inspiration to do something similar. So let's start. I think the hardest part of this project was figuring out where all this stuff was going to go. Luckily, this shelf was made for moving things around. So what we're gonna do is just place all of our items in the shelf and then figure out what works and what doesn't. And you can get carried away with the shelf by purchasing all these things like a cabinet or a display case. But we're gonna wait it out because its main purpose is for my wife to work at home easily and to fit all of my little hobbies and little items. Now that we had this shelf assembled, the first thing we wanted to do was make this shelf look more connected. We wanted the shelf to be on both sides of the computer, and in order for this to work, we needed a shelf that was longer than our desk. Unfortunately, IKEA doesn't make larger panels. I originally thought that cutting two pieces of these and gluing them together would be good, but I scratched that idea only because I think it'll be too noticeable. I bought some lumber from previous woodworking projects and thought, why not just try it out and see if it works. It may be a permanent solution if it looks okay enough, or maybe I'll replace it with plywood one day, but right now this'll do. Most of the lumber is going to be cut already. What I'm doing now is making sure we have a groove at the edge of the lumber. I didn't make it similar to the IVAR shelf. It's a lot bigger of a gap. It's so that I can play around with the space in case I reorganize some things in the end. Again, this might not be the final design, just a starting point. And I'm using a hand pull saw just so that I don't overcut or mess up the edges of the lumber. It's really easy to mess this up. It's also just fun seeing the grooves look crispy and fine. And that's the final product. Now on to sanding this bad boy. I'm only going to be using 3 sheets here. And I'm doing this by hand just to avoid any over sanding. And it looks pretty solid. By the way, if you want to know the tools I use, I'm going to leave them in the link below. And I'm going to make a little gap on the front corners so that everything looks flush on the front side of things. So after cutting all this, everything worked out pretty well, nothing came off. That's always the hardest part, to see something get cut and it's already at its final product and then a piece goes missing, so luckily nothing happened there. The only things I did buy were these dowels from Home Depot. I brought the pieces from IKEA with me and tested the sizes I needed by eyeing it. I believe it's 1/4 inch thick, and I cut the dowel with enough length so that it doesn't give any play when the shelf gets moved around. It's a strong enough support option. And there you have it, everybody. A very simple, long IKEA shelf unit system. Close enough to looking like the real thing without breaking the bank. A very simple, bare bones looking shelf, but overall I'm pretty happy with this addition. And with the standing desk hitting its peak, it almost just became a disaster. But it didn't, so it's on to the next one. Hope this build was helpful for you guys. Next time, things are getting a little bit more complicated. I'm going to try to build something I've never done before. It's going to be a hidden box with a projector inside that slides out afterwards. So thanks for watching and stay tuned for the next one.